ladies, gentlemen, and everyone listening in to tonight's broadcast of VORW Radio International, the voice of the report of the week. Coming out to you this Thursday, the 27th of November, 2025. This program is transmitted to you international shortwave frequency of 9705 kilohertz with 300 kilowatts of power from Taiwan for listeners in East Asia. Thank you all so much for tuning in today. I hope everyone out there listening in is feeling and doing all right, and I wish you good reception conditions. Dear listeners, after some miscellaneous discussion, there will be a brief roundup of select current events, and following the news, the listener-requested music. Here in the United States, today, the 27th of November, is a very widely celebrated holiday, known, of course, as Thanksgiving Day. At its core, Thanksgiving is a time to reflect on and be thankful for the good things in our lives, whether it's family, health, personal achievements, for instance. It's a major time for travel and gathering with loved ones, reconnecting, helping to bridge the distance that often separates many families today. And the holiday, of course, continues the tradition of a communal feast, which has evolved to include specific foods, most famously like turkey, stuffing, pumpkin pie. And you, of course, have the commercial aspect to the holiday. Likewise, it marks the beginning of the winter holiday season leading up to Christmas and New Year's Day. There's the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade and many online shopping sales that begin on this day and in the days to come. But for those of you listening in and celebrating the day today, I really hope you all have a wonderful holiday. I hope it isn't stressful. I hope it's enjoyable. And most importantly, in my opinion, take a moment or two at any point during the day and just contemplate a few things that you're thankful for in life. It doesn't have to be anything even overwhelmingly significant, but I think there's a lot in our lives these days that we do take for granted, and I think it's just a good occasion to take a moment and contemplate some of the things that, again, we are truly thankful for. Anyway, a few thoughts I wanted to share, even if they're more miscellaneous and not necessarily well-connected points, just because of the occasion that it is today, again, that being Thanksgiving. And now, having said everything that is on my mind, dear listeners, please stay tuned. The news is next. We begin with some very unfortunate news out of Hong Kong. At the time of this report, at least 36 people have died in a blaze at a Hong Kong apartment complex. Hong Kong's chief executive, John Lee, told a news conference on Wednesday as the fires continued to burn into the early hours of the morning. He added that 279 people are uncontactable and 29 people have been hospitalized, including at least 7 in critical condition. I am saddened by their deaths, and I express deep condolences to the families of the deceased and those who are injured. We will provide all necessary assistance, Lee told reporters. Some signs of fire were still visible at 4 of the 7 apartment buildings that caught fire. Police have set up a task force to investigate the cause of the fire, adding that housing authorities will investigate whether protective layers that were used to shield the buildings during a recent refurbishment complied with fire safety standards. Additional details: the blaze broke out at the Wang Fu Court, a large housing complex in Hong Kong's Tai Po district. The housing complex consists of 8 tower blocks, each 31 stories high. 7 of those had been affected by the fire. They provide 1,984 apartments for some 4,600 residents, according to a 2021 government census. Built in 1983, the tower blocks were undergoing renovations, and the outside of the buildings was covered in bamboo scaffolding and construction netting. Footage shows the fire spreading quickly through the bamboo. There have also been reports by residents that fire alarms did not sound. The Hong Kong Fire Department classified the blaze as a level 5 alarm, which is the highest in severity. It has been 17 years since a level 5 fire last hit Hong Kong. Local media reported that explosions could be heard inside the buildings, and fire hoses could not easily reach the higher levels. When the blaze was at its peak, the ferocity of the heat was preventing firefighters from entering the buildings to conduct rescue operations. This according to Deputy Director of Fire Services, Derek Armstrong Chan. So very sad and very unfortunate news out of Hong Kong. It's quite regrettable, and more likely than not, given the nature of these sorts of fires, the death toll will likely increase in the coming hours and days. We next move to a rapidly developing situation in West Africa. Soldiers in the West African country of Guinea-Bissau appeared on state television Wednesday saying they have seized power in the country, following reports of gunshots near the presidential palace, 3 days after national elections. The president told French media he had been deposed and arrested. It was the latest of several coups in recent years in West Africa. The High Military Command for the Reestablishment of National and Public Order decides to immediately depose the President of the Republic, to suspend, until new orders, all of the institutions of the Republic of Guinea-Bissau, spokesperson Denise Nyachama said in a statement. The military spokesman continued, adding that forces acted in response to, quote, the discovery of an ongoing plan, unquote, that aimed to destabilize the country by attempting to manipulate electoral results. He said the scheme was set up by some national politicians with the participation of well-known drug lords and domestic and foreign nationals, Nyachama asserted. He gave no details. The soldiers said they were immediately suspending the electoral process and the activities of all media outlets, as well as closing all borders. Guinea-Bissau has seen 4 coups and numerous attempted ones since independence, including one reported last month. The country has also emerged as a hub for drug trafficking between Latin America and Europe. The presidential and legislative elections were held Sunday. Incumbent President Umaro Sissoco Embalo, an opposition candidate, Fernando Diaz da Costa,